All right, everybody, welcome back. Everybody thought my Knicks moment would be a disaster and a downfall in my life. And they were the furthest thing from not correct. It led me into meeting some really cool people, and tonight is one of them. We have my boy Anthony Donahue here, lifelong Knicks fan. Thank you so much for coming, bro. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
And it's
man.
funny, we were actually chatting before your infamous Madison Square Garden moment.
Yeah, no, we were. We actually connected, and then the next day you DM'd me and you said, "There's no way that's you." I should have just kept it under wraps.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was at the game. I was a few rows from the court. I'm like, look at this guy. I had no clue it was you, probably because of the angle that I was at. But then once I realized it was you, I was like, oh my God.
How many
You
people
knew each other before that? Or
Yeah,
that's
we
how you-
con-
Oh,
we
I thought
connected
you mean
on-
that's how you connected, right?
we
there.
connected on social media? How many people does that happen to on like a monthly basis? You think?
What's that?
Like just completely botching their on-court moment.
They botch it. The thing is about your botching though, was that you kind of did it with style.
I was just gonna say
You had the nice Kith jacket on. You tried to do like a layup thinking you were like Julius Irving or something, and it was just an epic fail. But because you tried to have style and failed, that made it pretty unique. Usually people that fail and throw up a ton of bricks or air balls, like they just try to do a basic.
Yeah.
You tried to add some flair, and
No,
that
he did
made
a spin at one moment.
your Madison Square Garden moment extremely unique.
I appreciate that. You made me feel really good about
I
myself.
try.
You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
I'm here for. I like
But
to
I
make people feel good.
I completely leaned into that whole thing. The next day, I was like, all right, how far do I lean into this? You know?
Yeah.
And then I started commenting the pod. I was like, I have a podcast. I was like, this is the
Got
best thing ever. I was like, I started commenting my thing on everything, like my tag on all the Bleacher Report, Big Nick Energy, Overtime, you know, and it kind of led to like people listening. And for some reason, Detroit, Australia, which is weird, you know, so it's a blessing.
Listen, we can't rely on others. We can only rely on ourselves. So you got to keep promoting yourself. So that was definitely a good moment for you.
Yeah, maybe I'll miss some more layups.
You would have
gonna
thought
lie.
somebody died the next day. He calls my phone. I didn't see the video yet. Calls my phone. I was like, "See the video? What video?" He said, "Look at the page." All right, I look at the page. I hung up with him. I look at the page. I called him back. I said, "What?
Yeah.
the fuck?"
No, it was crazy.
I was crying.
Yeah, it was a wild moment.
That move he did is my favorite move.
Now, have you played basketball since?
No, but I'm thinking like maybe
Probably a good idea.
maybe I'll just improve my game a little bit and I'll start making some skits of me making layups.
Yeah.
You know, and that would be
show
Maybe
you
next
really can do
year.
it.
Maybe next year you'll be back for a second chance.
Yeah, I mean, I emailed the Knicks. I was like, bring me back. They didn't answer me.
Yeah. They probably
I
won't.
emailed the Knicks.
They didn't answer me.
You
And I
gotta
actually
bring
found
me
like
back.
a hotline number where I was able to like get in touch with like the front office or something like that. And I was like, you guys need to invite me
So
back.
you were calling the Knicks about your layup during the trade deadline.
Yeah.
They
Like
were
right
probably
before
They
we
may
got
have been
it.
a little busy.
Right before we got Alvarado.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Jose. There's also a story behind your fanship that goes kind of deep, and it's about your sister. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, well I mean I was a fan way before my sister was born. I'm 42 years old now. I was born in 1983. I became a diehard Knicks fan the 92-93 season. When I was in 4th grade, I was 8 and 9 years old, and it was an obsession. I was a fan of the Yankees, the Rangers, the Giants, even St. John's basketball before I was a Knicks fan. But when I started watching the Knicks in the 92-93 season, it just took over my whole life. It was my whole personality, and it was like that throughout, elementary school, middle school, high school. And my sister was born when I was in 10th grade. And then, she was a fan with me, always brought her to games. I started bringing her to games when she was 3 years old and took her, her whole life.
Okay. And then there was a viral moment of the hashtag, right? What was it?
Yeah, so when she was going through her first battle with cancer in 2011, she was a few months into it. It was March of 2011. And at the time, the Knicks had just got Melo. The team was playing really, really bad. And we started a hashtag called Win for Gianna on Twitter. Instagram wasn't even really around yet. And the Knicks won 7 in a row. And at the time, it was only I believe it was our second 7-game win streak in like 12 years. And the Win for Gianna hashtag, it was so big. It was everywhere. Like Spike Lee was tweeting it. Different Knicks players were tweeting it. And we ended up, unfortunately getting swept in the playoffs. But it was right before going into the playoffs. So it led to a lot of hype and a lot of excitement. unfortunately, the Celtics took us out that year in a 4-game sweep.
Yeah, I think.
What did you say? 2000?
This was 2011.
This is
during her first battle with cancer.
right when Carmelo Anthony got to the team. I remember that day. It was like 1:00 in the morning, I think, when the trade went through.
The trade went down about 8:55 p.m. Eastern time that night.
It was that early?
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah,
I
I was-
remember.
8:55 Eastern time.
Yes, because I was hosting my radio show, and at the time I was doing shows weeknights at 9 p.m. The Knicks were not playing. So the trade went down right before I went on the air.
That's sick. I just remember getting that notification on my phone. The Knicks receive Carmelo Anthony, Chauncey Billups, and who was the third? It was Ronaldo Balkman.
They got Balkman, and they also got
Anthony Carter.
Anthony Carter. They also got Sheldon Williams.
Yeah.
And they also got Corey Brewer in that trade.
Yeah, and they didn't even keep Corey. They cut
They
Corey.
no, he played like 1 or 2 games. Yeah, they got rid of him.
Did you agree?
Good player, by the way.
Did you? Carmelo Anthony's probably one of my favorite Knicks of all time. Do you agree that trade was logical on the Knicks end?
I love Carmelo. I'm a huge Carmelo fan. I'll always defend Carmelo. I think if they had to do it again, they would have just waited till the offseason. They didn't know what was going to happen because the lockout was looming.
Yeah.
But looking back, I'm sure if you ask Carmelo, he would say, I wish everyone just waited because the Knicks could have got him when the lockout ended. They still would have had Wilson Chandler, still would have had Danilo Gallinari, Ray Felton, Timothy Mozgov. They traded, as great as Melo is, they traded so many pieces for a guy who's going to be a free agent in 5 minutes because they got scared. So I think if they had to do it again, they would do it a different way. But it was great to have Carmelo Anthony as a Knick. It wasn't the greatest 7 years. Was that all his fault? Absolutely not. A lot of bad moves, bringing in Phil Jackson. That was terrible. But, I wish Melo, won more here. But again, it wasn't his fault. A lot of those rosters were extremely poorly constructed.
And
didn't have a lot of help.
But he was so good that he still brought the team to a certain level every single year. Which I actually got the pleasure of meeting him on his podcast. I did an event for a previous company I worked for, and I got to meet him and Kid Mero. And Melo was probably one of the nicest people.
Yeah, no, Melo's a great guy. I've been cool with him for about 12, 15 years. Really good dude.
I just think that when we finally win a championship, it's going to be like the Boston Red Sox moment.
When was the last championship?
1972.
1973.
72-73.
Yep,
right?
72-73 season. I believe that is, 53 years? So it's been a while.
They're doing fantastic.
Ironically, when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup in 1994, that was a 54-year drought. They won in 94, hadn't won since 1940. So right now, if the Knicks were to win the championship this year, that just sounds crazy to me, it would be a 53-year drought.
I just wonder if there's like a curse looming over the team. I just remember watching the Pacers game in the playoffs last year, and I just couldn't. I don't know if you watched it, but they were up by I think it was 28 points.
16 points with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left.
I don't think I watched the game, but I heard everybody talking about it.
That was the worst loss in the history of the Knicks franchise for me.
Yeah, that was
because of what was ahead. We win that game. I think we win. I mean, it's no proof. I think if we win that game like we should have, we win that series in 5. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say we would have beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder are a great team last year. They deserved that championship. But that game 1, that choke, and everybody choked. The players choked. The coaches choked. The hot dog vendors choked. The fans choked. I choked.
Yeah.
That was the worst loss in the history of the New York Knicks.
It was brutal. I think my sister texted me too. She was like, you know what it was? People were texting me like, oh my God, they're actually going to make it this year. And then I was like, stop saying that. And then that happened.
I mean, but to be up, 16 points with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, it just didn't make sense what was happening. And I was at the game. I was, 15 rows from the court. I've never watched the last 3 minutes in real time. I kind of want to one day just to be like, even though I was there, like what happened? Like Aaron Nesmith hit a bunch of threes.
Yeah, from like half court. It was
Tyrese Halliburton obviously hit the last. Well, it ended up being a 2. He stepped on the line. We ended up losing in overtime. With Reggie Miller was there. He does the choke sign after. Just an awful night at the Garden. And the Knicks never recovered. We lost game 2, came back, win game 3, lost game 4, won game 5, and unfortunately the Pacers beat us in game 6. And that was terrible because I really think we could have won the championship last year.
Do you think that when NBA teams have too many good players that it's kind of hard to win a championship? Because if you look at certain rosters that are constructed, except for like the Miami Heat, and the Golden State Warriors I could even talk about because, yes, they had Steph and they had Clay, but they just had extremely good role players around Steph and Clay. Andre Iguodala, I don't know if you consider him a role player, but Draymond Green I can consider a role player, the centers they have. I just feel like
You're talking about the 2021-22 Warriors.
Yeah, without
Yeah,
Durant.
of course,
But now that they have like all these good players from front to back, the Knicks, I just feel like there's not enough room on the court for all that talent.
Yeah,
so like
no.
when they had Randall and Devo,
Yep.
like I was at the game when DiVincenzo hit both the threes.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, I was there, and that team was so dope to me. They were
Yep.
gritty. They just got hurt that year, so it was unfortunate that they
Is
didn't.
there any of the team in basketball that went longer than 53 years without winning?
There's teams that haven't won before.
That's what I was just about to say. Is there
Yeah,
any
there's teams that haven't won, but I don't think anybody would have that long of a drought per se.
meaning that won
Like the
and
Pacers
then
have never won
again?
a championship. The Nets have never won an NBA championship.
But the Nets are fairly new.
Well, they won in the ABA.
ABA, right.
When they had Julius Irving. They won a 1980 something. I forgot.
But a 53-year drought, especially in New York City, the mecca of basketball. I think about it all. I even used to think about it when the Knicks were 20-60. Like, what would it feel like to win a championship? And now we're so close.
I don't think the city would survive.
And I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but it might happen this year. And we're so close where we can taste it. And just, I get chills thinking about the possibility of the New York Knicks winning a championship.
Are you confident this year?
At times.
You know,
At
they're
times.
a very confusing team.
Yeah.
Because
no,
some nights they look like the best team in the NBA, and then other nights not so much. I don't know what it is I don't know. Like maybe they're just also new. You know what I mean? And they're still making trades.
Yep.
And they're still incorporating people in the lineup. So
yeah, there's nights like, against the Nuggets on that Friday night where we mopped them up. Even the night at the Garden where we lost to OKC by 3 points, we looked incredible that night. Just a few games before we, spanked the San Antonio Spurs, who were on an 11-game winning streak. So there's times we've looked great this year, and there's times we've looked like trash.
Yeah.
But in a few weeks, the playoffs are going to start, and the record's going to be 0-0.
Yeah.
And it's time to go to work. But there's, a lot of people thought before the season it was going to be a cakewalk. But the Pistons are way better. The Cavs got better. They added James Harden.
Tatum's
and now,
back.
of course, the big thing, Jason Tatum, who a lot of people thought was not going to play basketball this year. Also, a lot of people didn't think the Celtics would even be a playoff team, let alone a number 2 seed. Now Jason Tatum is back. And the Celtics have a better record than the Knicks without Jason Tatum. And he's back. He's looking good. So these playoffs are going to be tough. And it's looking like it's going to be a collision course. Knicks-Celtics round 2 again.
Me and my daughter got into it last year. We started watching a couple games. My daughter, out of nowhere, we were watching the game, and then I just watched a little bit of a game, and then I think it was a day or two later, they were playing again, and my daughter, out of nowhere, was like, "Are we gonna watch the Knicks game
Yeah.
again?" I was like, "All right, go on."
It's
watch it."
exhilarating. There's nothing like playoff Knick basketball. There's no place in the
pretty nice.
world that has
It's
that much
amazing.
energy. And like even outside after the game, they're just going ballistic.
Yep.
You would think we won the championship. People hanging from light poles.
Yeah,
and that.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If we ever actually win, first of all, I'm gonna cry, and second of all, I don't think the infrastructure in New York City is going to
No.
be able to handle
Yeah,
what's about to happen.
You do have to shut down the city for a month or two.
The streets are going to be mobbed. I just hope the cops just let people celebrate.
They were kind of doing that even after we beat the Celtics in Game 6 when everybody was outside after every game, but that night after we beat the Celtics in Game 6 to advance to the conference finals for the first time since the year 2000, everybody was kind of letting us rock outside. 7th Avenue was shut down.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You were at every one of those?
Oh, yeah.
Are you celebrating outside when Side Talk comes by? I always try to look for
So,
Side Talk.
so like, yeah, no. So I think I'm not really a fan of that because I think when like the cameras come, I think people tend to I'm not going to tell you how to celebrate. You're talking to the biggest Knicks fan in the world. I'm happy when we win preseason games, but I think like when the Side Talk and the cameras come, people tend to do things that they wouldn't normally do. And I'm a big fan
That's
of
in any situation.
So I'm a
when the
big fan
cameras
of
come out, that's how they are.
authenticity.
Yeah.
So just because like a Side Talk or a camera comes around, all of a sudden people start yelling and saying the dumbest things. So I think that's a little weird. But I get it. Everybody wants to go viral and have their moment of their climbing on the Nike thing, which by the way, that was wild.
Yeah.
The guy who climbed up to the thing on 33rd Street. That was crazy.
What did he climb?
He climbed the Nike billboard.
That was crazy.
Yeah, bro. He went all the way
No
up there.
fear, nothing.
These Knicks
That's
fans,
wild.
there's nowhere in the NBA that's like this. That's why it pisses me off. Shout out to Oklahoma City. They have a great team, but come on, bro. Like Oklahoma City's winning the championship, not New York City.
Yeah.
It sucks, But I feel like it's to play here, to win here, and is the hardest thing a player would ever have to do in the league. There's so much pressure. It's very negative. Like as far as when you lose, the media is on your ass. And
the media, the fans. The Knick jersey is the heaviest jersey in the league.
It is, and I feel like that's why a lot of players don't want to come. You know, Julius Randle was also one of my favorite Knicks, and then he said it. He went to Minnesota, which is more of a low-key type of
course.
environment, and he's like, now I could just focus on ball. Everything in New York, every missed shot, everything he went through. The media scrutinized him. The fans booed him. And it's unfortunate because we're so passionate. We have such a drought. I just feel like once the championship hits, it's a restart. It'll just be a nice, easy place to play.
You'll still want to win the next year and the year after, but once you get that one championship, I feel we're all just going to kind of like exhale for a little.
Looking for the ultimate spot to hang out, catch the game, or unwind with friends? Unique Lounge and Billiards at 1757 Arthur Kill Road in Staten Island has pool tables, darts, and a full menu of craft beers, cocktails, and delicious food. Open daily from noon to 4 a.m. Wow. Yeah, I just hope it happens in my lifetime. I always pictured like that Chicago Cubs fan that was like 101 years old. That's like on his deathbed, and he finally wins and sees it. Watch, I'll end up flatlining in like the fourth quarter, right before like the celebration comes. You know,
like I said, I've been there. I've been in almost every game in the last 25 years. I've been going to Knicks games since 1994. To see a championship, it would be the most incredible thing in the world. I say I can't imagine it because I really cannot imagine it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Knicks Fan TV. Shout out to CP the Franchise.
Absolutely.
You said that you had a lot to do with the creation of that.
No, I wouldn't say I have a lot to do with the creation of Knicks Fan TV.
That's my bad.
What I mean was I was probably one of the pioneers in Knicks fan content.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Shout out to CP. He's
CP's doing a great job leading everybody in Knicks fan content right now.
Yeah. What's your earliest memory of being a Knicks fan?
My earliest memory of being a Knicks fan would probably be the 1993 playoffs, playing the Pacers in the first round. John Starks headbutting Reggie Miller, and then unfortunately John Starks' dunk in Game 2 versus the Bulls in the Eastern Conference
Those
Finals.
games I remember I watched them.
But the thing is about the John Starks dunk, and John Starks is my hero. I don't celebrate the dunk like people do because after that dunk, the Knicks lost the next 4 games.
Yeah.
So it's like. So you blame it on the dunk?
No, I kind of fired up Michael Jordan. He went wild. We lost the next 4 games. And of course, the next year, I went to my first game, April 2nd, 1994 versus the Miami Heat. It was actually our 16th straight victory. That year, we got to the finals. Unfortunately, lost in 7 games to the Rockets. I was 10 years old. Who could forget the OJ chase? Watching Game 5, all of a sudden the game is off the channel. You got the game is in like the corner. You got the OJ chase going on. I'm 10 years old. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. That's pretty dope. Who's your favorite Knick?
Of all time, Patrick Ewing's my favorite, but the guy like I wanted to be was John Starks. Like as a kid, I didn't want to be Patrick Ewing. I didn't want to like wear knee pads and post up. As a kid, I shot threes. I wore a wristband right here. I pounded my chest. I was raised by my grandparents. It's like John Starks. I wanted to be John Starks.
I think mine's I think I'm gonna have to go with like I'm in a weird generation of like when we were really bad. So like Marbury was always my guy.
Yeah, I love Steph, but those teams were terrible
and
brutal.
Nate Robinson, Al Harrington, those are like my David Lee. I love David Lee.
Same here. I love David Lee. David Lee was a glimmer of hope during a really bad time in Knicks history.
Yeah, and then it's my best Knicks memory. My father used to work for Wall Street, and he had box seats for his company, and I got to see this is when the Knicks had Nate, and I believe they were playing Toronto when they had Bosch. And then I got to see Nate Robinson dunk.
Yeah.
And that was the craziest shit
I've
ever seen.
Yeah, when Nate did some of the freakiest athletic things I've ever seen as a fan. But those teams were brutal.
Yeah, they were bad, but they were fun to watch.
Those games were the best back in the day when Ewing was playing with Jordan.
Of course, absolutely.
That's when we because I was a diehard Chicago Bulls fan.
Yeah, everybody was.
Right.
Well, not me. But
I was young, and then we were all diehard Jordan fans.
Yep.
And my cousin Steven didn't care about Jordan. He was a diehard Knicks fan. He would literally cry if they lost.
Of course, that was me.
He was diehard, and because I was a diehard Chicago Bulls fan, we used to watch the games together, 12 years old, 13 years old, fighting the whole time, making fun of each other. You know, those games were unbelievable.
Yeah, they were.
You don't see games like that.
Yeah, I was too young for that. I think I started really getting into it in like 2003 when I was like 8. But it was still fun, you know. It was fun because we were so bad.
Yes, it was very.
And we were just so hopeful, like when such bad things happened. Like we got Andrea Bargnani, and I'm like, he's gonna be the difference maker.
The Bargnani trade was one of the worst trades in Knicks history, to be honest.
Who did that first round pick end up being? It was somebody crazy.
I'd say
I could find out after.
Maybe it was Jamal. It might have been Jamal Murray.
Yeah, somebody crazy like
Yeah.
that. All the picks that we've traded, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure we could add a super team.
All the
but-
picks for Eddie Curry.
But that's just the media, like, again, just coming at the Knicks. The same thing, it's going to happen with the Mikal Bridges trade because after this whole period is over,
It's a lot of picks.
the Knicks are going to go into a rebuild. Inevitably, it's going to happen after the Brunson era is over.
You better hope it doesn't because we're not going to have any lottery picks. I'm sure if that were to happen, we'd probably get lottery picks back from another trade. But we're not there right now, but I get what you're saying. But it was a lot of picks for Mikal Bridges. There's no doubt about that, and he's definitely been a disappointment. Played pretty decent in the playoffs last year.
Unbelievable in the playoffs.
But there's no getting around the fact it's been a struggle this season for Mikal Bridges, especially the last few weeks.
It's tough. I feel like it's tough for these guys because they got a new coach. So, like, Tom Thibodeau was I feel like it was very straightforward offense, and you kind of knew it was coming. And I could be wrong, so correct me. But now Mike Woodson is
you're
kind of
correct.
that
Mike
new
Brown.
Mike Brown, not Mike Woodson. Love Mike Woodson.
I love Woody too. Bill Jackson did him
no
dirty.
idea who the fuck.
I love Woody.
These are all
Not
Knicks-
one
Knicks
player.
No,
And Ewings and Sparks. That's who I know.
we'll get back to the 90s. We'll get back to the 90s. But during this time, it's more of a free-flowing offense.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes the guys get a little confused with it because Jalen Brunson, I love him. He is very ball dominant. So sometimes you see the ball whipping around, but sometimes you don't. So it's definitely been a struggle this year at times. Also, like the rotation's been changed a lot. Where like with Tibbs, it was like he had his 8 or 9 guys, and that was it for the most part. Tibbs really didn't experiment much, which I'm a big Tibbs guy. Do I think he should have at times? Sure. 82-game season, throw some different lineups out there, but that's not what Tibbs did. Because with Tibbs, every game was a playoff game. Every game was Game 7.
I think they fucked up. I'm
If
not gonna
it
lie.
was up to me, Tibbs would still be here.
Yeah, I think
If
that
it was
a
up
big
to me,
mistake.
Tom Thibodeau would still be the head coach of the New York Knicks. But they went with Mike Brown, a different style of play, different style of communication, different style of the way he just delivers his speeches. So we're really gonna see come April 18th when the playoffs start.
I know it's just morphing into just the current NBA. I felt like they were trying to be current as far as this shoot a ton of threes and
Yep.
just run fast.
And that's not our style. Our style is a little bit more slow, up tempo, grind you out, tough. And yeah, I don't really think that's our style. But at times we've seen glimpses this year where the ball moves around fast, get up and down, kick out for 3. But
like imagine Alvarado with Thibodeau,
Tibbs would love Alvarado.
just completely unlocked.
Tibbs would love Jose, by the way.
Jose
Love him.
Alvarado is he's from Brooklyn. He went to Christ the King.
Yep.
And he just got traded from New Orleans. He's a Brooklyn kid to the Knicks, and he's just like one of those dog type of players.
Was he playing on the team last year?
No,
No,
was
we
on
just
New
got him.
Orleans.
Oh, you
And
just got
he's
him?
one of those guys that I actually messaged him, and I'm like, you need to come on the show. Like,
Yeah.
ASAP.
But this
I'm
has
trying
nothing to do with the Knicks.
Did he
but
reply?
He did not reply. I'm gonna try again in the offseason.
Yeah.
But that's like he's one of my favorite players. I really like hard nosed.
Of course.
I was always a big fan of like Ron Artest.
Yep,
and
same.
Alvarado and Lance Stevenson.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of him. He's from Coney Island.
Who's a better player, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Ooh.
I would go with Michael Jordan.
I was hoping so.
Yeah.
I said in a clip it was LeBron just to like get people
Okay.
riled up. It's not.
By the way, can I call somebody out real quick? Not that it matters. He's living a fine life.
Yeah.
Did you see the interview? It was pretty recent where Timothy Chalamet is on with LeBron James' podcast. Yeah.
Didn't Timothy like get in trouble for something? Was that what it was?
Did he get in trouble?
They're like on his ass about something. But
So basically, he's on with LeBron James and Steve Nash. And I get it. You're on with LeBron James. It's pretty cool. You're gazing him and everything. But then Timothy Chalamet, who is a diehard Knicks fan, was like, I would love nothing more than to have your farewell tour here with the Knicks. And the theme could be win a ring for the king. The Knicks haven't won a championship in 53 years. And if we don't win this year, next year is going to be 54. Why would you want the whole season theme to be with LeBron James at 42 years old, who, by the way, is still a pretty good player? But like, I was very shocked that Timothy Chalamet did that, by the way.
yeah.
Very shocked.
I mean,
I get it in the moment. You're on a show. You got a popular movie out. But come on, Chalamet.
yeah, I get it. You should just be all about the Knicks.
And then LeBron James says, we'll talk after the show.
No, Michael
So
Jordan.
here we
It's
are.
not even-
Oh, so now we're gonna
LeBron
start
James
with.
not even close.
So here we are 16 years later when LeBron was a free agent in 2010, when he had a chance to come here in the prime of his career. 16 years later, he's still flirting with us. Just leave us alone, LeBron. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
I think
I'm.
Pez.
It's a Jordan. I'm I'm a big LeBron guy because that was my Jordan.
Of course.
You guys had Jordan. I didn't have Jordan. So I've seen LeBron do things that I never thought a human being could possibly do. That
Absolutely.
moment,
Flop backwards and fall on his back.
the moment
He's become really annoying, though. I'm not saying he's a bad
He's the
guy.
biggest flopper
He has
I
become.
ever seen in my life.
He's become
you
really
could watch
annoying, though.
endless videos that are an hour long of clip after clip after clip of guys not even touching him.
yeah.
They don't even touch him. They move their arm, and he's flying backwards,
no, he's-
flipping on his back.
He's
Get the
become
fuck
unbearable
outta
lately over the last few years. I
Well,
think-
he's old. He's on his way out. But I'm talking about in the prime of his career.
he was incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That moment in Golden State when he blocked Iguodala and
No,
then they went on
crazy.
to win that game.
You're right.
I mean, he has the most storied career of all time. Regardless of his politics and whatever else, the guy is a legend. I never got to see Jordan. So the only Jordan I get to see is when I go on like
Yeah.
NBA TV and the replays of those games. And he was just the most dominant player of all time. It was
Oh, it
also
was
more
sick to
impressive
watch him.
back then. I had made a clip saying LeBron is just to get people nuts.
Yeah.
But that league was just so much more physical, and you hand checked, and
Yep.
those guys were monsters, and you had to go against like grown men. Now the league is more. I don't know
They
how to
were
explain
playing
it.
tackle basketball then.
Yeah, it was
They were
different.
literally playing
Yeah.
tackle basketball. Them guys were slamming into each other, whacking each other with their, and nobody
Yep.
was calling fouls. They got bloody face. They were like, all right, come on, let's go. Next one. It's not like now. These guys
now
get
it's way
touched. They're
faster.
flopping on
It's
the
way
floor.
faster, more threes. I feel like I wish they can combine the way basketball was 30 years ago and now. Because if you watch a full game from 30 years ago, that can be brutal to watch as well. And a game now can be brutal to watch. So I wish they could just kind of combine it.
Because it was slower. They scored less points,
Yep.
stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm entertained in this generation, but like a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that the foul baiting is absurd.
It
You know
is.
what I mean?
Oh, my God.
And it ruins the game. But it's not all. But they don't consistently call the games the same way. Which
No, they
bothers
do
me.
not.
Like when Tibbs was on the team, they let them play.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then I watched us against OKC when they botched 2 calls at the end, and then Shai is just doing this weird move
Yep.
where he's baiting
Yep.
the guys, and then he's leaning into them, and then he's going up for the shot, and then he's getting the call.
Yep. So annoying.
And it's ruining it, and it's stat padding, and I just don't understand what the league benefits from that. Like, you want to just keep this guy, his stats outstanding. Like, what is the
But
purpose?
the thing is, these guys, and I agree with you, these guys are so good, they're going to get their points either way. So it's weird that they want to live at the free throw line.
Yeah, like Bam. Like
Right.
Bam's
That
83. It's this guy, Bam
that was
Adebayo.
crazy.
He's on the Miami Heat. He scored 83 points the other day.
I seen that.
Second most in NBA history.
I didn't see the game. I seen the clips.
So
of the guy.
I want to say about that.
But
I
didn't they say like 40 of the points were from
44.
Yeah.
40 points were
44.
from fouls?
So, first off, credit Bam Adebayo. That's an amazing
Yeah.
feat. I'm not going to hate on it, but the only thing I'll hate on is the last 2 minutes of the game. The last 2 minutes of the game
Fouling,
were
intentionally
like Bush
fouling.
League fouling to get him on the line. Not going to hate on what he did. He did it. There's no asterisk. But those last 90 seconds to 2 minutes were kind of weird.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to pass Kobe. Rest in
Of
peace.
course.
But I remember Kobe did it. I have to look at the stats for that game because I don't know how many times
I think Kobe's better than LeBron.
Yeah, Kobe did it with
That's
I
something
do.
I'm gonna do.
that game. The Lakers were down most of that game. And Kobe was hitting jumper after jumper after jumper after jumper after jumper after jumper. So it was a way different type of way to get 80-plus points. And that was incredible.
You would put Kobe Bryant over LeBron
Yeah,
James?
I would. I
Okay.
would. I mean, LeBron probably does more things, with his passing and ball handling better than Kobe. But who am I taking in their prime? I'm taking Kobe Bryant.
That team was.
I
He
think
was.
Kobe to me. I mean, I'm not a big basketball guy, but
Yeah.
Kobe to me is probably closer to Jordan
Yeah.
than
Oh, he's a carbon copy.
Than
He
LeBron
studied Michael
James,
Jordan.
I mean.
All of Kobe's moves looked just like Michael Jordan also. The fadeaways, the backdowns, the dribbling. Even when he hit big shots, he'd go like this, the same way Michael Jordan went like this,
Who is one Nick that you love that the public wouldn't know? I have a good one.
A Nick player that I love
That the public would just be like, who is that?
would be, the public would be like, who is that?
You know, like you're outside MSG, you get interviewed, and then all the people name 3 Knicks that did so and so, and they have no idea who it is. you
So
know?
a Nick player that I love that people would be surprised about.
yeah.
That's a good question. That's an awesome question. A Nick player that I love that people would be so it's not going to be someone like David Lee because I think
No, I could give you 2 just to kind of like let you piggyback off.
I got one. He's a pretty popular Nick, but I love him a lot. I'd probably go with like Kurt Thomas.
Okay.
Kurt Thomas.
Shout out
I
to
mean,
Kurt.
I love Kurt, but yeah, Kurt's a guy I love a lot, and maybe doesn't get the attention of some other guys. I love Kurt.
I like
of course.
Bill Walker. Bill Walker was my guy.
Bill Walker, that's an interesting. I remember Bill Walker, of course.
What about Jared Jeffries? Jared Jeffries was a big fan.
At time, I like Jared was hated by most of the fans because he couldn't catch the basketball. But later in Jared's Knick career, he became much better. Was used differently.
Yeah, this is another controversial question. Who's the best Knick of all time? You're gonna say Patrick Ewing, right?
I mean, that's the only real Knick I know.
So that's
great.
It's not tough. It's tough because I'm friends with Walt Frazier, and he if I put like my camera in front of Clyde's face, he's always like, "What's up? It's Clyde, greatest Knick of all time." I have many videos of him doing that. I didn't see Clyde play, so I don't want to. I would say it's Patrick Ewing, but Clyde does have 2 rings.
I mean, there's also Earl Monroe.
Well, Clyde, I would put Clyde.
Patrick Ewing has no rings, right?
I know, so I guess you have to probably go with Walt Clyde Frazier.
Craving authentic Italian flavors in Brooklyn? Pasta Fresca at 6406 11th Avenue is your go-to spot for fresh homemade pasta, classic sauces, and mouth-watering Italian dishes. Don't leave without trying their famous savory sfogliatella, a word that I learned recently. Open daily, it's the perfect place for lunch, dinner, or a special night out. Experience the taste of Italy right in Brooklyn at Pasta Fresca. Fresh, delicious, and unforgettable.
I mean, Jalen hasn't been on the
That's
team for that long,
crazy.
but
Patrick
Jalen's
Ewing's got no ring.
But I
Why
would
do you
say
go to that?
Yeah.
right now, and who knows what's going to happen in the next 5 to 8 years, Jalen Brunson is on a trajectory. Did I say that word right? Big word. Trajectory to become the greatest Knick of all time.
Yeah, he's
He's not there yet, but Jalen Brunson is ascending to one day be the greatest New York Knick of all time.
Yeah, well, when we watched the playoffs, like I said last year, me and my daughter, I didn't know who he was, but he was the guy. And I mean, he was scoring everything in every game. He was saving
was
every
last
game.
year.
Jalen Brunson
Mm-hmm.
is incredible. I've watched almost every game of his live at Madison Square Garden since he's been a New York Knick. The things that he's done, the way he's turned around this franchise has been nothing short of outstanding.
Yeah, it's been incredible.
In my era, every team had that one guy that you would tune in just to watch.
It was Brunson last
Ewing
year.
on the
Yeah.
Jordan.
Of course.
You had Larry Bird, Allen Iverson.
Yep.
You had each team had that 1 or 2 guys that you were like, I'm tuning in tonight to
course.
see what they do.
If the offseason comes and let's just say we don't get to our goal and they get to their goal, not on the Knicks, and they don't
You
win.
actually are now.
I'm kind of on the team.
You
Yeah.
kind of are on
yeah,
the team.
I'm a part
A
of
little
it.
bit,
They
a
need to
little
You're
invite me
definitely
back.
more known than some of them now.
Yeah, a couple of the backbench guys. Like they know my name more than Muhammad Diawara for sure.
Mo's had a good year, though, by the way.
Shout out to Mo. Would you trade Karl Anthony Towns and Mikhail and OG? You don't have to answer, but for Giannis, if that comes along. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Wait, that's a lot. When you say don't reach our goals, are you talking like
Not win a championship.
like losing the finals or losing round one? What are we talking about?
I'm gonna
What is the hypothetical?
bring up a realistic situation because like the Knicks are unpredictable. I think they're winning the championship this year, but let's just say they end up playing Detroit or Boston in round 2. Because if they're the 3rd seed,
If the Knicks are the 3rd seed,
they would have to play Detroit in the 2nd round.
No, they would play the winner of the 2-7 series. So
Which should
Detroit will probably be number 1. So if the Knicks are the number 3 seed, they would play the winner of the 2-7, which will be the Celtics versus whoever, and the Celtics will probably win. So they would most likely play the Celtics in round 2.
And they'll be pissed. And let's just say they lose.
Okay, fair.
Are you blowing this up? And we're gonna keep
No,
hard.
no. I wouldn't. I'm not blowing it up. But if we lose in round 2, we're gonna have to have some serious conversations about some things. And I'm not saying, and I don't even think Giannis Antetokounmpo is the answer. Giannis is now credit. He did win a championship in 2021, but Giannis has only played in like a couple of playoff games in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And if Giannis Antetokounmpo is so damn great, and he is great, but how come the Bucks have literally accomplished nothing the last 4 years? So I'm not saying I wouldn't welcome Giannis with open arms to the Knicks. If the Knicks sign you, I'll welcome you with open arms. This is what I do.
I don't think it's gonna
I'm Anthony MSG. But I think sometimes we overhype Giannis, acting like we would trade like 5 good players for him, because that's crazy too. But back to your question, if the Knicks were to lose in round 2, that would be a major failure. Now, I'm not saying that, but I would not blow up the team, but I would definitely have some serious conversations about some players and make some changes. Blow up? No. Rebuild? No. Retool? Yes. But we're not there yet. But if that's what were to happen and we're just having a conversation,
Yeah.
you lose in round 2,
Do you have another team besides the Knicks that you root for if you're not watching the Knicks?
No.
Not if they're playing the Knicks. I'm saying another team that you watch.
No, I watch. Even if the Knicks lose, I'll watch. But no, no. No, I've never really rooted for another team in my life for the most part. Maybe every year, like in the finals, you'll pick a team just to root for, I guess. Right, but I'm not I've never pumped my fist for another team in my life. Yeah. It's just not how I am. I don't wear other teams' clothes. I don't believe in that sort of lifestyle. Some people do.
I kind of felt bad. I had the Ewing I was going to throw on, but I had to wear the logo.
You look fresh.
I have Nets colors on.
Yeah, you got to rep. But no, I've never really rooted for another team. There's always other players over the year. Not as much now because I'm older, but when I was a kid, there'd be other players I love to watch. I love watching Allen Iverson.
I loved watching him.
I would say of all the players to watch live, Allen Iverson was my favorite to watch live.
Definitely.
He wasn't the best because I saw Kobe play. I saw Michael Jordan play. I saw LeBron play. But as far as excitement to watch live, there's probably nobody more exciting than Allen Iverson.
Right. What was the best Knick game you've been to?
Best Knick game
I've been to every game. That's going to be.
No, that's an awesome question. The best. I have my favorites. So I would say my favorite Knick game experience for me. It's not the best game. Was my first playoff game I ever went to, which was May of 1999, first round versus the Miami Heat. It was coming off the lockout. The Knicks only played the Knicks. Every NBA team only played 50 games that year, and I lived with my grandparents upstate, 3 hours away. I used to go to a few games a year, even living 3 hours away. And we got a letter in the mail because back then there wasn't all these secondary markets to buy tickets. It was really only Ticketmaster. There was no reselling. So if you bought tickets secondhand, you either had to scalp them or maybe there was some phone numbers in the yellow pages. So anyway, we got a letter in the mail because we were on the season ticket wait list that said you won the right to purchase Knick playoff tickets.
Sick.
So we got tickets to games 3 and 4 versus the Miami Heat in the first round. Back then, the Heat was our big rivals. The Knicks were the 8 seed. The Heat were the number 1 seed. Game 3, I went with my uncle. I sat in section 416. I think it was row F. Now the rows are numbers. The Knicks won 97-73. I remember everything about that night. I remember just getting there early. I remember eating Nathan's across the street on the second floor.
I've never seen nothing like this in my life. He is a dictionary.
Looking at Madison Square Garden. I remember 18 minutes before tip-off, they put the Knicks on the screen about to take the court. They were playing New York by Rakim. I remember when the Knicks took the court, they played Super Thug by Noriega. Everything about that night was just incredible.
That's awesome.
Now, as far as the best game I've ever been at, because that game we won 97-73, the game was over in the fourth quarter. The best game I've ever been at, I am going to go with, because I wasn't at the 4-point play. I wasn't there. That was the same playoff run, by the way. I'm going to go with game 1, Knicks-Celtics in Boston. I went to that game. The Knicks were down, what was it, 20 in the third quarter?
What year?
Last year.
Yeah.
Being down 20 on the road. I was sitting with my girlfriend 10 rows from the court. Oh, my, that was amazing. And then, Mikal Bridges had the big play at the end. And then leaving the TD Bank Garden with that win in game 1.
Did you get cursed out?
Yeah, a little bit. Not too great, because when I go to the games, I'm passionate. I root like crazy. I think a big thing for me when I go on the road is I don't drink at games. And I think that's when fans get into fights and stuff. I just go and I root when I leave.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous when fans. I mean, listen, if I'm at the Garden and there's another fan wearing, I went to a Utah Jazz Knicks game when we had Porzingis and Flalo and stuff, and we ended up winning. That was when Porzingis fouled the guy at the fourth quarter. We went into overtime, whatever, regular season game. And there was a person sitting in front of me with a John Stockton jersey on, 2 of them.
I'm making conversation with them. Me, I'm like, oh, why are you a Jazz fan?
What are you doing? You know that you come into the Garden, and I'll bring up another bad one.
But also, that's not also, there's a big difference between wearing a Jazz jersey at a Knicks game when they're not a rival than coming into the Garden wearing a Celtics jersey for a playoff.
And you're asking
totally
for
different thing.
Yeah, I would never go to TD Garden, and I'm a big, even if I was at a Knicks playoff game in TD Garden, I know, unless I'm sitting privately, probably don't wear a Knicks jersey. Shout out to you. But
I'm going decked out in Knicks stuff. Because now also, if I go to TD Garden for a Knicks game, I'm gonna do my best to get tickets in the first 15 rows. So it's definitely not the same riffraff.
It
is.
It's more classy. Yeah.
To be fair, it is. But when I go on the road, I've been to playoff games over the last few years in Miami, Boston, Cleveland. I'm going, Philadelphia.
Yeah, but they'll get you in Boston and Philly.
Yep.
Cleveland, you'll be all right. You know, certain places. Miami,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
Cleveland was very nice.
You know, I went to a Miami Heat game, and when they were playing the Hornets, I was just down there one year.
Yeah.
And then the cops pulled up, and it's a lot more lenient in Florida. And so, like Miami, the way American Airlines is that's the Miami Heat arena, right? And
Yep.
then
That's
you
the-
could
they might
like
have
go
changed it. Yeah,
into the like almost into the arena while it's closed. If you do that in MSG, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
And then the cops passed me, and I was like, all right, I'm getting arrested for trespassing. You know, I had my Knicks jerseys on. I'm like, it was just a bad situation. The cops were like, what are you doing? And I was like, no, we went to the game. We're just hanging out. We're at the Holiday Inn across the street, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all right. He's like, I'm sorry, by the way. I said, for what? He's like, for being a Knicks fan.
Oh, that's funny.
And then he passed me, you know? And then that was like my fan.
I think if you go on if you go on the road, if you're a team coming to my city, you should be able to have some fun banter too. So if I'm at if I'm at a Knick game, which I go to every game, and there's somebody next to me in a John Stockton jersey, I'm asking about their Jazz fan history. Now, if they start annoying me, that's different. But I want to know, why are you a Jazz fan? What's your favorite moment for the Utah Jazz? Like, that's how I am, you know. But
well, you're a regular guy, but like what they did to the guy in the Halliburton jersey.
Sometimes I wonder if that was set up though.
No, he was a city guy. He was from here. He just
that was terrible. I don't condone that stuff.
A fan had went to a game.
That's terrible.
Indiana beat us. And he was wearing a Tyrese Halliburton jersey, and then they caught him outside and ripped his jersey and then threw garbage pails at him.
No, that's terrible. I hate the
Players
Pacers.
are not even
Yeah.
going. Like,
No,
you know
I
what
don't-
I'm saying? Like
that's
the players
why
don't even treat each other like that.
Yeah. I don't condone that stuff. Never
it's
have,
ridiculous.
never will.
I listen. I said I'm not a big sports guy, right? But I have probably every sports team's hat you could think of.
Yeah.
Not because I'm a fan of the team. I
You
just like the
of
hats,
course.
right? So you get anytime you wear a hat and you go somewhere, you get like a diehard fan, like somebody like I wear a Yankee hat.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a Mets fan, but I like both Mets and Yankees. But I'm a Mets fan. I wear my Yankee hat. I go somewhere. You'll have a guy who's a diehard Yankee fan, and he'll just instantly start. Oh, so what do you think about the trade?
Yeah.
And what do you think we're gonna do this year?
yeah.
And you remember when the guy last year hit the bunt and I'll wait and go 5-minute rant, and I'll be like, buddy, I don't know nothing you just said.
Yeah, I'm just wearing
I
the
don't
hat.
know one player you just mentioned. I just like the hat. I'm a Mets fan. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
And we went on vacation to Maine, me and my wife. Right? You ever go to Maine? It's beautiful in Maine. So I'm wearing my Yankee hat. I don't know what teams have beef with who and where you're not supposed to
Maine's
wear
Red Sox,
certain things.
Red Sox territory.
So I got my Yankee hat on, and we were by the hotel or whatever, and some guy, diehard fan, probably of the
Red Sox,
Red
probably.
Sox,
That's
like-
Red Sox country.
That's the hat you're gonna wear over here. Like, yeah, what?
Yeah.
I don't think you want to wear that hat. First of all, I'm in Maine. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm in Maine. This guy's like, I don't think you want to wear that hat over here. I'm like, buddy, I really don't feel threatened around here. I'll be honest with you. I'm from Brooklyn. You don't feel scared when you get to Maine.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
So,
but some fans
I was-
are sick in their heads.
Yes.
Like Philadelphia Eagle fans.
No, he was
Yeah.
making it like you should take that hat off before you have a fucking
Brother,
problem. I don't take it that serious.
I went to Lincoln Financial.
Philadelphia is a little crazy. I've never been to an Eagles game, but that
It's
sounds
bad.
insane.
I went to Lincoln Financial Field like an idiot. I was young, and then I was wearing a Saquon Barkley jersey, or you know what? It wasn't that. It was a Lawrence Taylor jersey.
Oh, I got one for you too.
Went there, tailgated, all Giant fans. It was like 8 of us. These fans were like threatening to stab us, bro.
Yeah, no, I've heard of the football and the alcohol at those games is a lot more
Insane.
than basketball.
So that game, I don't know if you're into football too.
Not as much anymore. I used to be, but not really anymore.
Jake Elliott is still Philly's kicker, and he hit a record-long 60-yard field goal to beat the Giants. And then I just remember, like, I felt it coming. You know what I mean? It was a bad year for the Giants. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is bad. You know, sure enough, Jake Elliott hits the field goal, and these fans were like up our asses, like chasing us out to the point where it's like, talk shit to us, but like they didn't
That's
throw
wild.
anything because then I
Yeah.
knocked them out. But like they were on our ass like the whole way out. One guy like legitimately threatened to stab.
Yeah,
That's-
but
one of my
that-
favorites.
that's crazy. But
it should
at least
never
you
be
were
that
at
serious.
the game. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I was at a hotel.
Because sports don't need to be that serious.
Correct.
Like the people on the internet turn this shit into like a fighting.
Like
game.
I take it that serious as far as my rooting, but as long as you're not annoying me, I don't care if you're next to me in a different team's jersey. I'm rooting my ass off.
So-
you know,
This is how bad I am with sports. I'm going right now. I'm going back like probably 20 years. I was probably like in my early 20s. We went to a party in Queens. It was at a pool billiard place. It was like a club. They had pool tables and it was like thrown at the
yeah.
So we're all playing pool, and I had just bought the Clippers jersey. This is 25 years ago. Everybody, all they used to wear was football jerseys.
Yep. Yeah,
Basketball
yeah.
jerseys was a thing. So I had just bought the Clippers jersey, but it was because I just liked the
You like
jersey.
the color? Yeah, yeah. I understand that.
So I think it was, yeah. So I'm playing pool, and this guy hits the stick, and I turn around and I look, and I move out of the way, and he taps me on the back. I'm actually getting annoyed that this guy is in the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I hit the stick, now he tapped me on the back, and I turn around, and he's like, nice jersey. So I'm like, thank you. I thought it was going to go into one of those rants, like I know everybody on the team. So he's like, nice jersey. Thank you. Go right back to shooting. And I look up. You know the kid, Georgie Vega? Okay. Georgie Vega, I'm close to all these kids. They're from Queens and everything, and they're all diehard sports fans, right? So I look up, and I see Georgie Vega and my friend Villa. They're both hysterical, laughing in tears. I stopped the shot. What's the matter? They're like, that's his jersey.
Oh,
So I had on a Clippers jersey.
Lamar Odom.
Lamar Odom.
oh, what a guess!
Oh,
What
there
a
you go.
guess!
That was good. That was good.
Lamar Odom.
Had no idea who
That's
this
great.
guy was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
jersey, Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
He's the one telling me nice jersey,
That's
and I'm
amazing.
like, thank you. And I'm going right back. My friends had tears in their eyes, and I'm like, what? And like, that's his jersey. I turn around, and he's
That's
looking at me,
great.
and he's laughing, and he's shaking his head like this.
Looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? The Pinnacle Real Estate team has you covered. Led by pro agent Frank Bergen, they make the process simple, stress-free, and tailored to your needs. Whether it's finding your dream home or getting top dollar for your property, Frank and the Pinnacle team bring expertise, professionalism, and the result you could trust.
I said, but he said, that's the funniest shit I ever seen him. He goes, you wearing a jersey? I had no fucking clue it was me. I had no clue. It could have been anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't
You
know.
like the jersey?
That was
the
it.
red one.
It was
blue
no, it was blue,
and
silver,
white.
and
Yeah.
red or
Yep.
something like.
I
something
forgot
like
all
That was a
on the
nice
Clippers.
jersey, though.
I love the
Those
jersey.
Clipper teams were actually very popular with Lamar Odom, Quentin Richardson.
Shout out
Darius-
Nick, another
yeah.
one of my
I
favorites.
should have caught on. when I
Actually,
turned
that-
around and the
let me
guy
go-
was
let me go back to that
7'6".
last question.
Yeah,
Quentin Richardson.
yeah.
That,
good.
that's one for me because that's like Kurt Thomas was on some teams that went to the conference finals, went to the finals. Quentin Richardson, I'm a big Q fan.
Yeah.
I chat with him a lot. Q would be
Shout
the
out to
guy.
Q. Tell him-
because that's a random one.
Yeah. Tell him the guy from the Voices of Brooklyn if he knows what that is.
I know you
Quentin
said
Richardson.
you've been to probably mostly every game in how long?
25 years.
So you've been to mostly every game.
Yes,
The games you
95% probably.
didn't go to.
Yeah.
A couple games you didn't go to. Did you miss them or you were home watching?
So if I missed the Knicks game, for the most part, it's because something like I had to do something.
Yeah.
So like I've missed 4 this year. 2 were for the birth of my daughter, so I guess that made sense, right?
Yep.
Obviously. One was.
Or did you have your phone in your hand? Like, push!
Well, when Autumn was coming to the world, the Knicks were on the road, but the game was on TV because she was born at 10:02 p.m. and the Knicks were in the fourth quarter in Chicago. So the game's on TV. She's coming out to the world. I'm like, what's going on? We lost that night.
Yeah.
But so I missed 4 games this year. 2 for the birth of my daughter, so I wasn't really thinking about the game. One was it was Christmas Eve. The Knicks are playing the Cavs on Christmas Day, and then Alicia says to me, "What do you think about not going to the game tomorrow?" I don't know. Give me 5 minutes. So I posted I usually just give away my tickets if I don't go,
Right.
which is very rare. I don't go. Right. I'm like, give me 5 minutes. So I put in my Instagram story 2 tickets for sale for tomorrow's Knicks Cavs game, under market value, but still like a good profit for me.
Right.
I sold it in 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, we're staying home. And then the other
What game was that?
the Christmas Day versus the Cavs,
Oh.
ended up being an incredible game. But
Were you
I
sick
was
that you didn't go?
No, I was home with her and my daughter, so I wasn't. I was fine with that. And then the other one was Martin Luther King Day. It was kind of like the same thing as the day before, and it was actually me. I'm like, I don't think I feel like going to the city tomorrow. Knicks ended up losing by 30.
All right,
So
good. Yeah.
the 4 games I've missed
Did you
this.
blame it on yourself for not going?
No, I didn't. Years ago, I would have. So I've matured a little bit. But the rest of the way, I'll be at every game, and I'll definitely be at every playoff game for sure.
Nice.
Who's your all-time Knicks starting 5?
I'll just go with my lifetime.
We can go all-time.
You want players I'd never seen too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Clyde, Walt Frazier at point guard. I'm gonna put Jalen Brunson at the 2.
That's good. That might be controversial.
Because Jalen is more of a scorer,
Yeah.
and Clyde was more of a distributor.
You
So
could put Earl at that number 2.
no, I'm putting Jalen at the 2, Clyde at the 1, center Patrick Ewing, of course. The 3 and 4 is interesting.
No,
I'm going to stick to my lifetime, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Allen Houston. Even though Houston was a 2, that's my guy. I'm going to go Allen Houston at the 3, and then I'll go with Larry Johnson at the 4.
That's a controversial 5, man.
Because Jalen at the 2 makes sense.
I couldn't name 5
Jalen
players
at the 2
from
makes
20
sense
years ago.
because Clyde's going to get him the ball. Jalen's going to get a lot of open looks. Patrick Ewing, of course, at center. And then Allen and Spree are 2 of my favorite players of all. I can't leave Allen and Spree off the team. Now, I'm a bigger fan of Starks than both of them, those 2. But Allen and Spree are way better than Starks. So I'm going to go with Allen and Spree at the 3 and the 4. Obviously, Melo should be there. Maybe I'm just going by favorites. So,
It's good to be favorites. I think the most winning team, obviously Pat at the 5.
You put Willis Reed at the 4?
No, I'm going to put Bernard King at the 4. Melo would have to go with the 3. The 2 is up for debate because Latrell Sprewell I'm a big fan of Spree.
But you can put Jalen. You can put Jalen. You can put Jalen at the 2.
Because odds are there's going to be a fight.
Spree
love
was
Spree.
against that.
Love
But I
Spree.
also would like Marbury was another one of my guys, and he was a great scorer. So if you figure that 5 in there, you got defense so far, maybe just a little bit more scoring.
We got to watch him play all the time at the schoolyard.
Marbury?
Marbury used to just pull up at every schoolyard in Brooklyn and just hop out and start playing.
So there's a lot of legends that they all went to Lincoln High School. So
Marbury, Sebastian Telfair,
Isaiah Whitehead, and Lance Stevenson.
Yep.
Lance Stevenson went there too. Lance Stevenson used to play basketball at Shallow Park in Bensonhurst.
Really?
And he was just like the guy. And I played college football and high school football, and I played amongst guys that you just know when somebody's going to be in the league.
They're on a different level.
I played with Curtis Samuel, if you know who Curtis Samuel is. He's the wide receiver. I think he's on the Bills now. But he started on the Commanders. And you just knew Curtis Samuel was going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I also played against them. Curtis Samuel, I call a Hail Mary.
It's a different level.
Yeah, Gus
Our
Edwards.
gym teacher at Severian was Chris Mullen's brother.
Chris Mullen's from Canarsie. Chris Mullen
used to
is
come.
is a
I think
legend.
that's him, right? Mr.
Yep.
Mullen. He went to Severian, right? Yeah. The brother was the gym teacher, and he always used to come.
Yeah. The funniest thing about the Knicks moment, bringing up Chris Mullen, because I have people in my family that I played in the park with Chris Mullen, was my overweight family members hitting
That's
me up
hilarious.
you got no game, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, your belly is out to the ceiling, and what? Because in the 1980s you played a little basketball.
I always wish the Knicks got Chris Mullen,
Yeah, Chris Mullen was the man, bro.
New Yorker.
He was good.
Do you think the new generation of the NBA could compete with the guys in the 90s?
I think guys today are more skilled. The 90s was a different type of basketball. But the bottom line is if you can hoop, you can hoop. So
I don't think they can.
it was a different. What are the rules though?
Watch a game from
It's
the
not
90s,
that the 90s
how aggressive they were
Yeah.
and how they were in.
Yeah, more like
It
if
was
you
a
went to
fight
the
every game,
if you went to the
banging
paint,
into each
you
other,
got
and nobody
fouled.
flopped.
But
Nobody went on the
Steph
floor
Curry
flop.
would still score 30 points a game in the 90s. He absolutely would.
Who?
Steph Curry would.
That's the thing that
He absolutely would.
I'm gonna actually bring that
He's
up for
still
debate.
scoring 30.
He would. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if a guy. That was in my head. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
but
a
he
guy,
would score 30
Well,
from half court.
there's also 90s players that couldn't play now because of the style of play. Some
the
players,
majority
in the
of them.
a Chris Dudley.
Yeah, 'cause they'd get fouled out.
Another random Nick who
Chris
I love.
Dudley, yeah.
Chris
Shout out.
Dudley. I love Chris Dudley. He'd be a dinosaur in today's NBA.
Yeah,
And I love Chris Dudley.
I always argue that the guys from the 90s, if they would be that good in this generation, you know what I mean? And it's
But also, guys now have different resources than guys in the 90s. So it's so tough to say.
yeah.
But if you can hoop, you can hoop. So some people say, well, could Larry Bird play today? Of course he could. He could hoop. You can hoop. You can hoop.
True. I got 2 more questions for you. My next one would be if there's one player in the league, non-superstar, to be on this Knicks team to really push them over the edge, who do you think it would be?
Can he already have been a Knick and have him back?
Absolutely.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Ooh, I like that one.
I would love. Losing Isaiah crushed me. He was such a perfect fit for this team because he did so much, passing, scoring, rebound, defense. Isaiah Hartenstein would be so great because Mitchell Robinson is great too, but he's not always available. And sometimes the best ability is availability. Isaiah Hartenstein would be tremendous for this Knick basketball team.
I like that one.
Knick basketball team.
I'm going to go with Draymond Green. Pat's going to go
Even
with
right now?
Patrick Ewing.
I'm going to go with Michael Jordan.
I'm going to go with
my answer for
yeah,
everything
I'm going to
basketball.
go with current. I'm going to go with current
Yeah.
Draymond Green. I like that. I think Alvarado would be my answer if he wasn't on the team.
Alvarado's going to win us a playoff game.
Alvarado is a beast.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jose. Jose, I want you on this show, bro. Okay. Look
Jordan,
at
I want you on the show. Where are you? What camp? Jordan.
Shout out
I'm
to
on the
Jose.
show.
And I'm trying to think of like another hard-nosed NBA player right now that's like a gangster on the court. And it's not coming to my brain right now, but it will probably off camera. But Draymond
Usually
Green,
how it works.
yeah, shout out to. I really hope Draymond Green is a Knick before the end of his career.
I feel like he's gonna retire there, but you never know.
Yeah, and then my last question would be, anything going on for you in the future, like as far as events go? Do you have anything major planned that you want to let the
absolutely.
audience know of?
For sure. So I got 2 more events this regular season, March 24th versus the Pelicans. That game is sold out. But I have one more event, which I'm announcing very soon. And when the show drops, it should be live. Knicks Celtics, April 9th at the Garden. I'm hosting over 100 people that night. Pre-game party at American Whiskey, ticket to the game, pre-game warm-ups. It's going to be a great one. So follow my social media, Anthony MSG, for a chance to get tickets.
I want to go to one. I'm just kind of
And then,
scared
of
that
course,
I'm the guy.
I'll say this right now, too. Game 1 of the playoffs, I got a suite. So hit me up if you're interested.
There we
There
go.
we go.
You want to go to the
So
suite?
I got that.
Let's go.
They're gonna be like, who are you? I'm just gonna be like, not the guy that missed
Right.
the layups that one time.
Well, you're
you know?
invited. You're invited.
Yeah.
So I got that coming up. So that's very exciting. Got a lot of things going on in my personal life. That's very exciting that I got a plan for.
Yeah.
So life has been pretty good lately. You
That's
know?
dope, man.
Yes,
Nice,
absolutely.
nice.
You're a gentleman, bro, and this is big for me. I've been a Knicks fan my whole life, and I have been following your story for a while.
Well, thank you. I
And
appreciate that.
Really dope, man. Really
Well,
dope.
he's
what
been
you do.
following your layups for a while.
Yeah. But anyway, bro, thank you again.
What,
for coming.
wait, what about the Bronx restaurants?
Oh, I
'cause
had
that
that question.
was- yeah.
We could throw that in there. What's the best
Because
Bronx?
that was the one question I was actually making sure I had my answer for.
What's the best Bronx restaurant?
So one thing I actually hate about like food influencers
yeah.
is that food content is cool because I love to eat as much as I love probably watching the Knicks. So I like to know. We live in New York City. We'll never get to every restaurant here. Shit, sometimes we might not even get to every restaurant in our borough. It's not even possible. So with food influencers, everything can't be the best. That's not possible. So I wish they improved their vocabulary and said things like, this is great, this is incredible, this is excellent. So that said, I don't like to say like this is the best restaurant. I'd rather say this is my favorite, or this one's awesome, this one's excellent, this one's incredible. You feel me on that?
Yeah.
So my favorite restaurants in the Bronx, in no random order, Enzo's on Williamsbridge Road, absolutely incredible.
Enzo's
Italian
right there,
food.
Yeah, that was mine.
Jewish deli in Riverdale, Liebman's, absolutely incredible. Been there since the 40s, I believe. Chinese, Mr. Q's in the Bronx, Williamsbridge Road. Been there since like the 50s. No social media, nothing. They don't care about that. But bakery, Conti's, which we have right here.
Oh, yeah, shout out.
That I brought some for.
This is incredible. Toasted almond is my favorite.
My 2 favorite pizzerias just have been gone the last 5 years now, unfortunately, was Sorrento's and the Captain. But my favorite pizzeria now in the Bronx, which has been there forever, Louie and Ernie's. Maybe you've seen them on social media. They're incredible. My favorite restaurant of all time, though, if I am on death row and I have one more meal to eat, that is Carlo's and Yonkers.
You ever been to any spots?
Nope.
You never know Enzo's on Arthur Avenue?
No.
Enzo's, I don't know. That sounds familiar, but the other ones,
The Enzo's is on Williams. There's 2. The Enzo's is on Williamsbridge Road that I like better. And then one more to add in the Bronx, Mario's on Arthur Avenue. Been going there my whole life. It's been open since like 1905. But Carlo's and Yonkers, been there since like the 50s or 60s. Again, no social media presence. Packed every night. Always want to have a reservation 7 days a week. And just the most incredible, my favorite food is definitely Carlo's. But yeah, those are my favorite Bronx restaurants. And ironically, my number 1, though, is right outside the Bronx in Yonkers.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Don Peps, too. Don Peps is out
I've
there.
had that.
Don Peps is fire.
That I've been.
Yeah.
But I don't really know a ton of the Brooklyn spots. I see them on social media a lot. A lot of the Brooklyn food influencers that post.
So
like-
March 28th, last thing I'll say is Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, right over the Verrazano, is having a food tour festival.
That sounds cool.
And you could go from, I think it starts on like 76.
You go
and
with the group.
I'm going to be there with all of us, and then we're going to go to each business and kind of do like a skit and stuff like that. And then I got to make it over to Pasta Fresca. Shout out to Charlie for another
May
skit.
28th.
March
28th.
28th.
March 28th.
Yeah. And you should come to that. That'd
That's
be great.
a Saturday.
That is a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
a
Nick
Saturday.
game, I don't think, that day.
Yeah, I'll check for you.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
I'll check for you.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, come by, come hang out. I'll come to one of the events. I'm not the layup guy. I'm just
Just come hang out.
I'm
and
just Chris.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's a wrap, fellas.
Don't forget to subscribe, share the love, and keep the voice of Brooklyn alive. Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and never forget where you came from.